Hey, what's going on? Of course, to all of my alternative adult book snobs out there, it is me, Nostalgia Allure. And guys, I welcome you back to another episode of Book Shade, where we give the multicultural approach to talking about BookTube, as well as I focus on what I like to call interracial Romancelandia and everything revolving around the romance genre multiculturally. Okay, so today's episode, guys, this is going to be a little bit different, and I am doing a special episode today, and this is a segment that is going to be called the BookTube Clapback. Okay, and this is an intellectual clapback. This is just me doing video responses to interesting topics that are being talked about in regards to BookTube, and of course, and talking about BookTube in general. Okay, so today's BookTube clapback response that I'm going to be doing is in regards to a video that I had a chance to watch today, and it was called "Don't Compare Yourself to BookTubers," and this was done by Elliot Brooks. Now, guys, let me tell you, Elliot Brooks is fine as all hell. Okay, if I could have the ounce of beauty that this woman has, I would have like 40 boyfriends by now. I probably have a husband right now. Good God. Okay, but all of my messiness and extraness aside, guys, Elliot did a great job with this video, and I just wanted to add to the conversation because this is something, as a newer booktuber, I'm realizing myself is, I want to get better at what I do. I want to improve my show and improve my presentation and all this stuff. So here's the thing. I don't know why comparison is always seen as a negative thing. It's not always meant to be negative. Okay, when you're comparing yourself to someone, it depends on the context of how you are comparing yourself to that person. So for me, guys, if I see another adult booktuber doing a hell of a lot better than me, if I'm comparing myself to them, this is just me, I'm not gonna be salty about it. I want to learn, what is this person doing that I'm not doing to get better at what I do? And whether we want to admit it or not, we all compare ourselves. We all compare ourselves because we're all trying to be successful. Okay, and for some of us, yeah, BookTube is a hobby, and for some people, for me, it's like a lifestyle. It's a part of who I am. I love reading. This is what I enjoy. But let's just be straightforward with this. I don't think there's anything wrong comparing yourself to another adult booktuber in my situation. If I see another adult booktuber doing a hell of a lot better than me, oh, trust and believe, I will be reading, darling. Okay, I will be analyzing and learning from them. Okay, what I can do in my own way to make my show a better quality program. Okay, so I think that comparing is not a bad thing. It depends on the context of how that comparison is being made. And then the other thing that I've noticed too, that was kind of mentioned as well, is the book collection thing, and you don't have to read all these books and things, because it okay, here's the thing. The only time to me you should be getting competitive with reading is if you're trying to read faster, or if you're trying to read in let's say a readathon or something, where you're trying to amass how many books you can read at a given time. Okay, so besides that, it doesn't matter how big your book collection is. Is it nice to have something that is eleganza and looks glorious and something that you're proud of? Because look, at the end of the day, you're gonna do whatever you feel makes you happy. Okay, And sometimes just because you see someone with a really, really, really big book collection That doesn't mean they're trying to show off. That doesn't always mean they're trying to be dramatic. It doesn't always mean they're trying to be extra. Sometimes people just have a massive collection like that, guys, because they just enjoy reading. Like for me, if I had the privilege of having this enormous book collection, I would enjoy doing that. But I'm looking at my bookshelf right now and I only have one bookshelf, and you know what? I'm okay with that. You have to do things that work at your comfort level. So the other thing that I want to talk about too is sometimes the whole ebook thing gets criticized from time to time. I don't think there's anything wrong with ebooks. I think it depends on how you approach it, you know? If you are not comfortable with that type of technology and you prefer the physical thing, that's absolutely fine. But I don't think ebooks should get canceled, because ebooks are just a different method of like reading a physical book, you know? And at the end of the day, everybody has their personal preferences of what they feel resonates with them. Like when I first started reading, guys, I was all about the physical copy. Like especially, you know, you guys know I'm a stan for Anne Rice, right? So, you know, I was collecting majority of like her books, and hopefully I can get the new one that just came out recently, that continues the story of the Vampire Chronicles. But I collected physical because I felt like, oh, you know, I need to have physical kind of books, you know. But then over time, as you know, technology has gotten better, I was like, you know what, I could just buy, like, I have a Kindle. Actually, I just got a Kindle just recently, and I was like, I could get a Kindle and then just get all the books that I'm interested and put it on my Kindle and save myself some space. So it depends on the logic that you're looking at. If you're comparing yourself, kind of tying it back in here, if you're comparing yourself to another booktuber, you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Number one, why are you making that comparison? Are you making that comparison out of positivity, that you admire this person and you want to get better if you're a booktuber yourself? Or are you doing it in the negative sense where it's like, oh, you know, we all get salty, okay? When we see someone doing better than ourselves, you know, sometimes you may get a little jealous. Sometimes you may be like, you know what? I wish I could get to that level, you know, and I'm working just as hard, or I'm working 10 times as hard, and why can't I get that type of, and it's okay to have those type of feelings. So I think that it's okay to compare yourself to other booktubers, you know, other adult booktubers, if it's coming from that right logic, if it's coming from that right mindset. I think that's the key to it, and I wanted to kind of add to the conversation. Now, on top of that, I have to say though, going back into a little bit of the ebook thing, I don't think ebooks should be criticized, because it's just a different method of it's like reading a physical book digitally. And, you know, for some people, they may not have the room. For some, like in my case, I don't have the space to have all this eleganza book kind of collection. And you also have to remember, guys, it's not people showing off or something like that all the time. You know, sometimes it's just, guys, these big collections that you see, sometimes it's given to them as gifts and things like that. Other times, they actually are building this collection over time. Okay? And I think you should be proud of whatever hobby that you're interested in, but we have to stop, like, to me, ignoring the thing of people do compare each other. People do compare themselves to other people. There we go. It's okay to compare yourself. You know, if you're comparing yourself and your logic is coming from a good place because you want to do, like, guys, look, for me in my life so far, I have had many mentors, people that I look up to tell myself, you know what, I want to get to that level of success. I want to be like that. And if you're comparing yourself in that kind of way that's healthy, I don't see a problem with it. But if you're comparing yourself in a place where it's more like, you know, it's out of jealousy or negativity, okay, that makes sense, because you should never compare yourself to someone who you may think that's better than you negatively, because you may not understand that that person has maybe had to really bust their ass to get to the level that they're at. So for me, when I compare myself to other people, I make those comparisons out of positivity and wanting to get better and seeing what they're doing. Maybe there's things that I'm lacking in that I need to, that I need to improve on to give a better presentation for my program. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think about what I said in regards to responding to Elliot Brooks. I think she is absolutely fabulous, darling. She is genius to me, and I appreciate her reviews. And I'll say this before I go to, guys. It takes a lot of guts to really review like the YA book genre, because it's very popular and people be all up in their feelings when it comes to YA and YA crossovers. So I commend the adult booktubers that tackle this genre, because it is not easy. It is not my cup of tea personally, guys. I gave YA a try. I have to cancel it. I just could not relate to it. It's just not my thing. And I commend the people who take the time to review this main genre and subgenre, because people is so sensitive when it comes to YA and YA crossover. So you have a lot of balls to review the genre, especially if you're reviewing it very critically and let's say you don't like the book. My props to you, because for me, YA, I've just realized, guys, it's just not my thing. It's not my cup of tea. I'm gonna stay with the new adult and doing science fiction and just much more mature literature. To me, it's just YA. I tried it, the crossover. I wanted to see what the big deal was. I just couldn't connect to it. I couldn't resonate with it. And I think that's what's important, guys. As an adult, if you're getting back into reading, I don't even care if it's the romance genre. Always read things that you can resonate with and that you feel comfortable with. Never read something because it's mainstream and everybody else is doing it. Always read something, guys, that you personally enjoy and that you can immerse yourself into a positive reading experience. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Let me know also what you thought about Elliot Brooks and her video, Don't Compare Yourself to BookTubers, because I do agree with her on the stance of, if you're comparing yourself from a negative mind point, it's counterintuitive, guys. Like, if you want to be successful, let's say you want to do BookTube or whatever you want to accomplish in your life, don't use comparison out of jealousy, and don't use comparison to come from a negative headspace, because it doesn't get you anywhere. And I know this, guys. I'm talking from personal experience. Always, if you're going to use comparisons, you always want to compare things that are going to help your life progress and your experiences to move forward in a way that you're doing something better for yourself. Always remember that. So with that being said, guys, that's the end of today's segment called the BookTube Clapback, where I give an intellectual video response to some of the interesting topics that booktubers are talking about. You guys let me know in that vicious comment section below, because I know it is going to be sickening. Yes. Okay, comment section. Please, in that vicious comment section below, let me know of other topics that booktubers are talking about, and I will do a uncensored, unfiltered response to it. So, all right, guys, with that being said, like I always say, remember to enjoy the darkness of reading.